Hey gang, Joyce with Skipping Cats Farms here. Got a couple of experiments going. Regrettably I can't really show them to you because I really had to pay attention to what I was doing when I was in the middle of it. So let me kind of explain what I did and explain why I did what I did. Now, my big birds follow me. They totally have me dialed in with food. Okay, so not a problem. So one of the things I did right but could have done better was I came over here and got a small portion of feed and put it in this bowl. Well, just dry feed in this bowl. Well, all the big girls went after it. So while the big girls were going after this, I came over here and wanted to let the little ones out without the pressure of the big birds around. So I took the cinder block and put it in such a place that it would open just enough for the little birds, but hopefully the big good birds couldn't get in. Well, the only challenge with that was at one point in time it blew closed, so I had to come back over here. So of course all the big birds came with me. So what I would do next time is, go ahead and use something like this to prop it open, and then use something little like this back here in the door to keep it from going back closed. So suddenly I have all of the little birds out, all the little big birds all around. So I kind of backed off and wanted to see what happened. All the big birds are really pretty cool, except for the young rooster. Now, it may be just a thing. He didn't try to kill any of them, but he poked at several of them. And most of the girls were really they just pretty much ignored them. I'm pretty sure all 6 of these are girls. If you'll notice, they've got the zip tie on their right leg, probably a white one. One of the things that I was taught by the gal that I bought my first birds from, Delinda from, what's the name of her business? Homestead Poultry in Delano. Gosh, she's got some absolutely drop-dead gorgeous birds. When I asked her that, she said, well, when they first start to get their first feathers, a lot of people will tell you to look at their wing feathers. Well, what she told me was, if they're all about the same age, in about 2 or 3 weeks, when they're about 2 or 3 weeks old, the hens will start to get tail feathers first. And, well, the pullets. And the baby roosters or cockerels will not. They'll still not have feathers on their tail, but they'll start to get a more prominent ridge on their nose. They may have a little bit bigger legs. The other thing about the even feathers and the uneven feathers, I have a hard time with. But I've had pretty good luck with, but you've only got that window. Once you get past like 2 or 3 weeks, then they all start to feather out, and it's hard to tell. That's why what you see are the zip ties. Now I may go ahead and leave those zip ties on there. Why? Because they're white. So white will be for 26. You can, I forget exactly how it works, so don't trust me on this specific information, but trust me on the general principle. I'm also a beekeeper, and they do specific queen colors for years. And so it's white, yellow, red, green, and blue, if I remember correctly. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. White, yellow, red, green, blue. So white would be for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. So white would be the number of the year on a queen that had, I'm sorry, I was looking at out my eye, not the camera. I apologize. I do that. So white would be the beehive color for 2026. And then that's one simple way. You can take a variation on that theme and just come up with that whatever you want to keep track of your birds. And it's a nice, easy, inexpensive way to do that. So anyway, so I let the birds out. All the big birds came over towards me and were around here, and everybody was really well behaved except for this guy. Small man. He, over a 10 or 15 minute period of time, stuck his beak where it didn't belong about 4 or 5 times. Big boy was really well behaved. And there was a hen or two that kind of just poked at, but not really at the bird, just like, get out of my way, kid. And so he's the one I'm going to have to keep my eye on. So then I'm like, okay, what do I do to get rid of them now? Because they've already eaten the food. They've already followed me over here. Now we got a problem. So I took a little bit of scratch and put the scratch over there in the corner and spread it out. So they were over there for about 15-20 minutes going after the scratch. They just now came back after getting tired of finding nothing. What did I do? Well, I got a little bit of scratch myself, and I came over here. There was one pullet that had already found her way back into the cage, and the other ones were hanging around. So what I did was I just slowly, easily moved around in this direction with the cage between me and them. Why this direction? Because as they come around this way, the door is going to be open to them there. Because I've got it closed now, but it was opened up against the cinder block. And I had a little coffee cup that I used to feed them, so the rest of the flock doesn't see it as a trigger for feed. Another good point. So I probably walked around this thing about 8 times before I got the other 5 birds in there. But the key is, if you want to move livestock fast, move them slow. If you want to move livestock slow, move them fast. Because all of them are prey animals. I have 2 eyes in the front of my face. That makes me a predator. And so they are automatically going to be kind of that fight-flight response. If I start moving fast, they're not going to trust me, right? So I just kind of walked kind of a circle around about like this, with them between me and the cage. And each time I walked by, I put a little bit of seed inside. And a couple of times I put a little bit of seed right there, just on the outside. Well, the last 2 saw the seed just on the outside, and then I went and stood behind them right there, and then didn't move. But my pressure behind them when they finished eating the seed that they want, and that door was a little bit open, when they finished feeding, let it refocus here if it will. When they finished on the seed right there, I just kind of very slowly just pressured them a little. I didn't move in on them a lot. I just kind of pressured them a little bit, and they went right on in. Closed the cage behind them, Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So, what are my takeaways? My takeaways are we're always going to mess up and do something stupid. Number two, you always got to keep trying stuff. And try and think like an animal and try and figure out, okay, what do they see? And the big birds saw me, that meant food. So I gave them food someplace else so I could come back here and take care of the little guys. Now the other experiment that I'm working on has nothing to do with the chickens directly, but has to do with trying to develop feed for the birds that I don't have to pay for over and over and over again. So this is what we got here. A friend of mine has some duckweed that she found that's free. And I ordered this online because I didn't know anybody with duckweed or a pond or a trough that I could use. This is Azolla, and it's also known as mermaid fern, I think it's called. I bought some from a botanical place down in Florida, and it arrived in really pretty bad shape because I didn't pick it up at the post office. Hint, hint, hint. And it got delivered like at 6:30 at night, and I didn't discover it until the next day. It was in pretty bad shape, so I decided just to put it out here in my water trough and see what it would do. One of the reasons is, I don't know if you can see, well, there's some water bugs in here. You're seeing the reflection of the clouds. Can't really see into the water with the camera, but there's some wigglies in here. There's some water bugs in here. These little beetles seem to just want to get, I don't know if that's a little dung beetle. It doesn't really look like a dung beetle quite, but they keep getting in my trough. I keep flicking them out. Some of them are pretty big. So anyway, so I put that in here about a week or 10 days ago. And then we had like 5 nights of 30, 40, low 50 degree weather, and it didn't do very much. Well, the last 2 nights we've had 50, 60 degree weather at night. And my trough was only filled, maybe by a third. That's why I just had to fill it, because it was getting down low. And so it's now starting to grow. So we'll see how it works. If it grows and does well through the summer, then I can use this as a way to supplement the feed for my chickens. If I want to, I can dry it and use it in the wintertime. There's a number of different feeds I'm going to try. So this is just one of them. And I figured this is a low maintenance, no maintenance way of doing it, because as this comes in and fills up the top of my trough, when I come in and dip my water can to carry over to refill the water bowl, that's right there. The feed bowl's there and the water bowl's there. Whatever I get is whatever they get at that particular point in time. In the meantime, if I don't want any, I've already tried this. You just kind of do this real gently with your fingers, and it gets out of the way, and you're golden. So we'll see how this goes. If it turns out good, I'll let you know. If it turns out a bust, I'll let you know. But for $12, I'm willing to give it a shot. Look at that little booger over there. That's Little Man. That's the ram lamb. He's over there inside eating the greens around the 75 willows. His mom was calling him a moment ago because she's up over there and couldn't see him. So they've gotten in the habit of going under single wires, so I'm going to have to retrain them with triple wires for a while. And that is my fault because I put a single wire out with the idea of letting them creep feed. But I let it go too long. I should have just let that go for about a month. And then set it up where they would develop a better respect for the wire. So next time I won't let them creep feed. I'll just move them on more often. But that's what I did, and that's what I have, and I'll just have to deal with it. I have a good charger, and that triple wire they do not challenge. That triple wire is a 356. What they do challenge is a 3.5. But they don't challenge a 3.56. Because with the 3.5 they'll go over it. With a 4.6 they'll go under it. So just kind of you just kind of go with it. Now, the little ones have feed in their cage, and the two roosters are over there, and one of the other hens, it's not very good light. I'm not in the right spot, but they're over there walking around now. The hen with the rusty neck, she got inside the cage. I forgot to tell you that. She got inside the cage. She pushed her way through the door. She is probably a black copper Moran that we thought was an Australorp. And see, they don't have a lot of extra feed out anymore, and I'm leaving feed out for the little ones. And so they see the feed inside the cage, and it's making them a little frustrated, especially with me standing here. So I had to get on my hands and knees and get a hold of her. I just grabbed her by her tail. I grabbed for her leg and missed her leg and got her tail and just threw her out. But it was one of those things that you don't want to have to deal with, but it happens. So with that, this video is going too long. I will let you go, but always keep trying things. Always keep trying things, because everybody's context is unique. And the things that work one place won't work another, and the things that play, you might surprise yourself. There's been some things that have surprised me. So with that, gang, I will wish you blessings for the day, and whatever you do, just keep chasing the dream.